We're going to make a primitive bag crow. Real easy because we're going to use recycled envelopes. And you guys recognize these. These are the padded ones, but if you don't have the padded, that's fine. You can still use just a brown paper sack or craft paper, and of course any of the packing. We're going to use black paint and some scrap fabric, a pair of scissors, and your glue gun. As you can see, the inside looks really good. We're going to draw on the outside and then cut it out. It's real easy. No one's going to see this label or anything. And we just want to make kind of a big egg shape, or almost like a triangle basically. And we're just going to, this is the size of our crow. So whenever you draw it, you can just kind of get happy with whatever size. You want to make it smaller, you can make it smaller. You want to make it bigger, you can definitely make it bigger. And I'm just going to try and utilize this bag and cut this out. So now this particular type of envelope has a white foam-like stuffing in it. It's like a powdery. Don't worry about that because, well, as I said, we're going to be gluing this together. I'm not even going to worry about it. Voila. Now I've cut me two of these out, and it's simple from here. We're just going to flip these over just like that. And that way we have this beautiful brown outside. And then this one, same way. We're going to flip it over. And we are going to glue this together. Now, leave an opening at the top and leave an opening down to bottom. Don't glue those shut. Just do from here to here and from here to here. Be mindful of it, and it only takes a jiffy to go through here and glue this down. So that stops over there. That's as far as we want to go on that bag. Spin it around. We'll do the same thing over here. We're just going to go through here and make sure you stop up there at the top. You need to be able to put some stuffing on the inside. And these are the coolest things ever as far as niftiness. So we have us opening here, and we have us opening up here at the top. Just as small is all we need. Painting this black, and you don't have to be particular, but you do want to get it completely covered. And on the edges and side, you can do that too. If you feel like you need to glue it some more, you can do that as well. It doesn't take but a moment to paint your paper, and it takes it up real fast. So by the time you get this side painted, it's dry. You can flip it over and do the back side as well. And don't forget to maybe catch your sides, but that side opening, you might see a little peep through, and when it gets stuffed, that's when you might want to concentrate more on if you need to glue it anymore or do anything different. The idea is we want to make sure that the top flap and the bottom flap do not come away from each other, and they stay pretty good. They're pretty resilient, so don't worry about it too much. Just get your crow painted real quick so we can get on with the next of it. Now when you're painting this, with the reason why I said, if you can get to it, but you'll see that the paint will make any separation come up naturally for you. And we still want that opening, but this is the cover piece going to this piece. And so you definitely want to glue that down. Just don't glue your opening shut. This is just those two panels that are together, and this is on the lower edge of that envelope. So just take and glue that down. Go all around it because you may find it on the opposite side, like this one, and it'll just show that stuffing that's in there, foam like, and just go along the edges as close as you can and put some glue in there, and so that you don't have those flaps coming open on you and just making it look bad. It will take away from your pocket. And then just check all the sides just like this one, and then that way it won't come apart on you. If you wanted to, you can take and put a paintbrush against this edging, like this one right here. I'll take and paint that so that it's not showing. I'm not worried if it is showing, but in case you're real particular, just be aware of that, and you can just take and paint that all up with your brush. It only takes a moment to do that. I want to create his beak. Now these can be an oval triangle where they're rounded at the top, or it can be a straight up triangle. And I want to determine how big I want it to be. I want to aim for this point on this one, and you can just use the top of your box or cardboard, whatever you like to use. This is what I've chosen that I want to use for mine. It can be as long or as short as you like. I'm using this cardboard because I'm actually going to put my felt or fabric to this. If you have felt, you can use felt. If you have fabric, you can use fabric. I've got my cardboard cut. Now, to collapse this corrugation, you want to press it down because we want this to bend and be flowing with the pocket itself. So we want to mash that corrugation down and collapse it so that it's not too puffy. If you want to use craft paper, or if you're using felt, things like that, have a little more depth, that works great too. I want this one to kind of raise up a little bit and not be so flat, but they look good with just fabric there. This is just something that I'm opting to do. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this burlap, but I'm going to double it up. So what I'm going to do is just lay it there, and as you can see, you can't see through it, and I'm going to be trimming that back anyway. So I'm going to glue my burlap onto these cardboard pieces, and that won't take but a moment. And because the burlap will flow through it, got to be careful. This is a time when, if you have your silicone pieces for your thumbs and so forth, this is a good time to use them. Just cut that, then I can trim that up. That's looking pretty good, giving it that old-fashioned look. Now we have beaks. We want to go ahead and stuff the inside of our crows. So you can use some packing paper, or you can use plastic to stuff the inside. It doesn't take a whole lot. Also, if you used cardboard to put your fabric on like I did, make sure that you bend them again, because the hot glue is going to make them stiff. And we want them to bend a little so that when we stuff this, they'll wrap around per se and stay in place. We'll do that last. Additionally, I have 4 buttons here for the eyes. So let's go ahead and get our crows stuffed. Once you get it as full and as stuffed as you like, go ahead and glue only the bottom down. Leave the top open. And it gets this nice shape to it. I love the crinkles look to it. And it's just really, really neat. You'll have one side that you'll like better than the other. And as I said, it's not going to take a whole lot to get that filled. You can use polyfill or plastic, but I'm going to use paper because, well, I like using my polyfill for something that I'm going to be putting against me, or it's going to be sitting on the couch that people are going to be getting a gift. This right here, you can get it even stuffed more if you wanted to. I just want these to be puffier, and they'll be sitting about and looking really, really snazzy. So you'll pick a favorite side once you get this fastened. Make sure you hold it till it gets cooled off and good and glued. And you can shape it and get it the way you want. That crinkled look around the edging, that chalk paint helps with that. If you're using acrylic, it does pretty good too. It may have more of a shine to it, but the chalk paint really gives it that flat, matte look. And they just look great. Our crows are looking fantastic, and I have them all buttoned up, and I've gone around the edges here and just made sure that they're kind of blacked and colored in, and the bottom of these. So now let's get our crow nose over here. I select this longer one for this, and this is a real simple task right here. We're just going to glue it into place. And as you can see, what I was talking about before, I'm rounding that a little bit. It'll hug your bag. That way you don't have any kind of issues with it bumping up or having trouble with it staying on. Because once this glue hits it, it's a done deal. Just got to make sure you put it right where you want it. That was simple enough. When you do your crow's eyes, you want to make sure that they're really close. We call them beady eyes. So I know that my larger ones are going to go on this side, and you see how close those buttons are together, and they don't even have to be like the same identical size. You can see how it looks kind of cute when you got one big and one small, and that's really what you're going for right there. You don't want to be too particular. Once you have figured out where your button's going to go, I recommend putting the glue onto your bag and then moving your button into place. That way you don't get burnt and you get it right where you're planning on putting it. Guard yourself. If you have a pair of tweezers, that works well too. They're looking really, really handsome. Now I have some raffia, and I also have this jute twine that has the red in it, which I want to use both of these. If you only have the raffia, and the raffia looks good by itself, and this, I'm going to try to put these together and see how they look. The way I do it, I got my raffia here, and I'm just eyeballing how much I want to stick out, and give a little more because we'll be trimming it up too. And you're just going to double this and kind of get you just a little bit. You don't need a whole lot of this raffia. And that looks pretty good right there. And then this jute, I want to put a little bit of it in with this. I think I'm going to do 3 folds on that, or 2 folds. That looks pretty good. That way I have like an existing kind of floppiness to it. I really like this red. I'm going to get one more on there. I think that'll look even better. And then you can actually, if you needed to, you could wrap it with either the raffia or the jute, more or less, to just bind it a second. I'm going to clip that. Put me a spot of glue there just long enough to keep them together, because they are going to be stuck down in the bag. They'll help hold those bundled up. Now I can clip my raffia, and they'll hold there for a moment. So that's one. We'll get that fixed. We're going to glue that down in there before we cut anything, and that's real simple. I will put glue around it, and then I place it down in there way before I glue closed the bag. Then that way I know that I'm aiming straight and I'm getting that down in there like I want it. And that's going to hold a little bit. You want to mash it to where this spreads out. You don't want it just one clump in the center. And as you can see, that was sufficient to even glue up that bag. Unless you just feel like you've got to put something else in there, you won't need to. And then it's a matter of snipping these loops and getting it all bushy. And there we go. He's got his little bit of hair sticking out. It's so cute. I love it. I love it. I love it. Long piece hanging here. I might need to snip that. And then if you feel like you need to shorten it, you can clip it off and shorten it. So that's got him taken care of as far as his little bush up here. And usually the shorter, the cuter. So let me take a little bit more off of him. I don't want it, try not to do it all even and stuff. You know, maybe do everything kind of like one at a time, because you want it to be kind of bushy like, and you don't want it to be squared off. You want it to be bushied out. I love it. He looks great. They're looking pretty spiffy. So the last thing, one thing you can do is take your black magic marker. And if you want to, you can do like a little pound sign, you know, just on one side of his beak. That's something you can do. If you used burlap, then you could do like a stitch there, and my marker kind of do a pound sign. Nonetheless, you've got that. The second thing we want to do is we want to make crow, and I have a roll. This is real easy to make. You just basically roll you off about, cut you a 6-inch area, rip it, and go as long as you want to go. I'm going to make these kind of broad and just tear that. I keep this here because I use it a lot. And if you need to, you can rough this up with the edge of the scissors. Sometimes you just taking and holding it and rubbing at it will give it that tattered look. Next, we want to take our black magic marker and we're just going to write crow on here. Just real simply written. And I do it kind of the R like that because I'm real bad to capitalize my. If you want to dirty these up with maybe your coffee stain or some dirty water or even your stamp pad. For me, I just spray a little bit of my coffee staining on there, and then I can dry those real quick with my heat gun. And these look pretty good, so I'm going to put the larger one on him over here. And it's better to put the hot glue onto the actual fabric. Once again, you don't want to mess up on this. We want to make sure that going in the right spot. Our crows look fantastic. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Share it with someone who enjoys doing DIYs of fall and primitive. And be sure to subscribe to the channel for more DIYs like this. The thumbs up lets me and YouTube know that you enjoyed it and will share more of the like to you. By subscribing, you will receive notification. Be sure to check out the Facebook Dandysoap DIY. You'll find the link in the description box down below and here on the channel. Until the next DIY, this is Elizabeth, and I'll be crafting y'all.